What's up guys, welcome to the video. So today we're talking about training partners. So how to find a good training partner, what to look for in a training partner, the benefits and the drawbacks of a training partner. We're also going to talk about an interesting experience that I had yesterday, as well as give you a physique update and a little bit of posing. So one of the exercises that I was doing yesterday is the hip thrust. Pro tip, if you have a gym card in your pocket, take it out because it will get snapped up. Snap City, baby. So you can see this guy right here who's standing on the plates. Now, I don't know this guy. I've never met this guy. I think he's a trainer here. And he said, oh, I want a deadlift. Yeah, just banged my head there. I want a deadlift. Can I work in with you? And I said, oh, maybe you can just use another bar. There's like 4 other bars there. And he's like, oh, no, I'll just work in with you. And so I'm like, sure, why not? He's just being friendly. And he's standing on the plates at the beginning of the set. He's just trying to help me out. I mean, obviously it's a little bit weird to be basically staring into another dude's crotch when you're trying to do a set, but you know, this is part of being in China, honestly. I don't mean like staring at crotches. I mean, if someone is trying to help you, a lot of Americans would be like, no man, get out of here, this is weird. But I know he's being genuine. I know he's just trying to help me with the exercise. And so a lot of what happens in China is you don't want the other person to lose face. So you would just say, oh, thank you, and you sort of just deal with it. And this happens to me all the time in China. Not the crotch thing, that was sort of a first. But for example, I went to buy my food the other day, like the street food, and the lady gave me what's called youtiao, which is like this sort of stick of bread that's been dipped in oil, and I hate youtiao. But she's like, oh, I'll give you it for free. Oh, 我送给你. And I was like, oh, thank you. I didn't say no, because she's just being nice, and me saying no would cause her to lose face and just make things awkward. So I just said, oh, thank you, and then I threw it away later. I didn't need it because I don't like it, but I don't want to make things weird or awkward because I go there like every day to eat food. And this is a big part of living in China and working out in a Chinese gym. This guy works here. I don't want to make an enemy of anyone, and I certainly don't want to lose any potential friends. For all I know, we could be good friends for the next 5, 10, 50 years. And what's the point of potentially throwing that away just because he's doing something that he thinks is helpful and I might think is weird? It's better just to sort of accept that and realize that he's coming from a good place and just sort of going with the flow. And it gets weirder later in the video, so keep watching. So let's get into the main topic of the video, training partners. So first of all, you don't need a training partner. I have never had a training partner. Part of this is because I'm a foreign dude living in China, so there just aren't that many foreigners here. It's a huge city, there's like 20 million people in Shenzhen. There aren't that many foreigners who lift, and a lot of the people here aren't really very serious about lifting, so they might lift like once or twice per week. One of the beautiful things about lifting weights is that you don't need anyone else. It's almost like running. It can be a team sport in some aspects, but it's also very, very, very individual. You have your own goals, you can do it alone, you don't have to rely on anyone else. If you're playing like soccer, you can't really play soccer alone unless you want to look really, really pathetic. But with lifting, it's almost like it's designed to be done alone, which personally I really like. However, there are still benefits to having a training partner. The first one is going to be motivation. This is something that personally I have never struggled with. If I have any trouble with motivation, it means I am probably way overtrained. I'm a very driven, motivated individual, so if I'm struggling with that, something's really, really wrong. However, I know a lot of people are not like that. They want to have motivation, but they might not have it. And so having a good training partner can really help. If you know that Monday morning, your training partner is going to be there at 8 a.m., it's going to make it a lot easier to get yourself there, knowing that they are relying on you. So they keep you accountable, they keep you honest, they keep you on track. Another part is technique. While often I videoed myself and I can see my technique, we all have blind spots. We all have areas that we can improve on and that we need to focus on, but sometimes they are hard to see. So if my technique is breaking down, a good training partner can say, whoa, you shouldn't be, leaning back on curls. You should be just cutting the set so you don't hurt your back or something. Another area that weak points come in is when you're looking at your own physique. If you're looking at yourself, you see yourself differently than other people see you. We all have bias, and nowhere is this bias more apparent than when we are looking in the mirror. And this isn't just true physically, it's true mentally and emotionally and spiritually as well. But sometimes you look at your physique and you think, wow, yeah, I look great. Someone else looks at you and says, oh, he could change this and this and this. And I think it's useful and valuable to get more opinions. If you only ask your own opinion, then you are absolutely going to have blind spots and you're going to have weaknesses, which could be corrected just by being humble, just by asking someone else's opinion. I don't know everything. There's a lot that I have to learn, and getting a good training partner can help you to open your eyes and open your worldview and to improve yourself. Even though I think I have a better physique than this guy, there's still so much that I can learn from him. Every person you meet is better than you in some way. Every person. Whether it's like just a beggar on the street or some old person, they have some knowledge, some experience that can teach you and can make you better. So never think that you know everything. Never think that you're a know-it-all, because that's the surest way to stop learning and stop growing as a person. Another useful thing is that they can check your ego. So they can either pump you up or they can bring you down to size. So if they see you and you're using too much weight, they can say, whoa, Geoff, stop that. You're being an idiot. Reduce the weight by, 10% or 20%. It's just safer and better for your progress. On the other hand, if you're holding back too much, they can pump you up. They can get you motivated and jazzed and fired up. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he used to say that when he was lacking in motivation, Franco Columbu, his training partner, used to challenge him to a bench press competition because Franco knew that that was the right thing to do. That for Arnold, he needed that motivation, that little kick in the rear end to get things going. So a good training partner can really inspire you to take things to the next level, or they can bring you down a peg or two depending on what you need. So finding someone who understands you, who knows your goals, who knows your experience, who knows your training history is very, very difficult. It's almost like finding a good coach. It can be extremely difficult to do. So if you do find a good training partner, hang on to them and never let them go. Alright, that sounded a little bit gay. I'm not hating on gay people, I'm just saying, it doesn't have to be gay. It could just be like a friend kind of thing. But if it is gay, that's also okay. Whatever you're into. And moving on. So there are some bad factors when it comes to training partners. One is that often a lot of them, they really just like to talk. So I've had training partners that I had to untraining partner just because all they did was talk. They would talk 5 minutes, then do a set, then another 5 minutes, then do a set, then 10 minutes, then do a set. And it really just became difficult to get in enough training because it wasn't really a training partner. It was just like a conversation partner instead of an actual workout. So if you find someone like this, I would say just know what you want. If you really want to make progress, if you're really serious about working out, but they are not, then your goals are not the same, and they do not make a good training partner. Another type of training partner, they will take more than they give. So obviously in any relationship, it's not going to be perfectly balanced, but it should be roughly balanced, where they are always trying to give as much as they take. If someone is giving 20% and taking 80% in any relationship, it's probably not sustainable and it won't last for very long. Another factor is that their schedule should match your own schedule. So I usually work out in the early afternoon, so maybe 1 p.m., 2 p.m. And obviously most people are working during this time. I'm an entrepreneur, I set my own schedule, I can basically work whenever I want. I still work probably 12, 13, 14 hours per day, but I can work out whenever I want, pretty much. So basically I'm posing here and he's talking to me. He's saying that I should do classic physique. And for those of you who don't know, classic physique, yeah, they're like all on steroids, all of them, and pretty high dosages, which I'm not willing to do any dosages at all. And so for him to say that I should do classic physique was a little bit weird. I think in China, classic physique is a lot lower level, so I might be more competitive. He also said that men's physique might be a good option because I have small legs. And then I said I have small legs because I haven't been to the gym in 3 months. And he was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. So here he is helping me with my posing, telling me some weak points. I don't have a great V taper. My back isn't all that developed, which again, you know, it's good getting a second opinion. If one person has that opinion, then I can guarantee 100 other people probably share that opinion, but they're not willing to share with me. In my opinion, I have a better physique than him, but that doesn't make his opinion invalid. I still value his opinion, and for him to tell me my weak points is something that is pretty rare. A lot of people, they'll think something, but they'll never say it. So it's very refreshing to get someone's opinion on this type of thing. So he's helping me with my lat spread as well as my side chest. And honestly, this was really cool. It's very rare to find someone who is passionate about bodybuilding and can talk about this. It wasn't in English, it was all in Chinese, with like the occasional English word, which he sort of like would mispronounce, and I would have to sort of try to figure out what he was trying to say. But this was really cool. It's a really cool moment to just talk about this with someone who also is clearly really interested and really passionate about this topic. Especially in China, this sort of physical culture, bodybuilding, weightlifting, powerlifting, it's all sort of just in the very early stages. So I would say China's like 20 or 30 years behind the US and behind Europe. And here he is helping me with my front lat spread. And I really appreciated this help. Again, it's hard to see your weak points, and to get feedback like this is extremely rare. So this was, again, a really cool moment. And then he helped me with my upright rows. I've never been a huge fan of upright rows, but these tips that he gave me was really, really interesting and really, really helpful. Keeping the chest up, very, very extended, and then I took a wider grip than usual. I actually saw a video by Mike Israetel a couple days ago about the upright row, and I've never liked upright rows. I think they're, you know, maybe not that great of an exercise, but they're also worth trying. And here he is helping me out, and 40 kilos was probably a little bit heavy for the first time. It's not super heavy weight, but for just trying out the exercise, it was definitely maybe a little bit too much. But this is a huge benefit of a workout partner. They can sort of guide you through the motions, and they can teach you some new exercises. You can get some new wisdom that you might not otherwise have. So what should you look for in a training partner? I would say, 1, it needs to be someone you like. If you don't like them, don't have them be your training partner. It's just not going to work. It's true of any relationship. If you don't like the person, it's not going to be a very good situation. You should also be roughly the same strength level. Now, this isn't absolutely required, but it certainly does help. Their goals should also be somewhat similar to you. If you're a bodybuilder and they're a power lifter, yes, you might be able to make it work, but it's not going to be as easy as if you had the same or a similar goal. You should also be a pretty similar level of competitiveness. If there's a big discrepancy there, it's probably not going to work out very well. So finally, we did some posing, which is pretty cool. I haven't really done any posing in a long time, possibly like a few years. So it was nice to get his feedback. Again, he helped me with my posing. And, you know, it's weird having someone you don't really know do this to you. But again, you know, just go with the flow. Doesn't happen every day. And so he said, you know, I have a weak point in my chest, which I think is probably true. I've just been doing dips and push-ups for the past 3 months. So obviously I've lost a little bit of size, especially in the lower body. My quads look just tiny here. It's kind of pathetic, kind of sad. But again, they'll come back pretty quick, I think. The upper body is looking okay, I think. I'm not super lean right now, but I think I'm in a good place to gain muscle pretty quickly. And I don't think I'll be competing in any shows, at least for a few years, but maybe eventually I will do some kind of physique show. Probably not classic physique, just because I would get destroyed by all the steroid users, but maybe a men's physique or maybe a natural bodybuilding show could be in the cards. Alright, that is all for today. A pretty long video today. Make sure to like the video if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Stay safe, everyone.